Greetings, family. Welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. If you are new to this channel or podcast, then please subscribe and share our content with your friends. This will help grow our audience. I provide a written transcript in the group with the same name on Facebook for those of you who don't speak English. I also cite all of my sources under Show and Prove section. You can find all of my work under the About section on my YouTube channel, and then scroll down to Medium. I use this platform to interact with everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social groups by giving Black business owners free airtime to promote their products and services. I give people in the faith community an opportunity to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, and ordinary law-abiding citizens an opportunity to share their special talents and skills to my listeners from the podcast community. After the show, I offer my guest speakers an incentive by teaching them how to create their own podcast and YouTube channel to help them earn extra revenue during COVID-19. I also assist people on my friends list with creating basic websites, finding college scholarships and grants, housing, and legal services, all for free. Our goal this year is to raise $500,000 for our film projects. Hood Liberator Made in Chicago, the war against Willie Lynch begins. First, I would like to thank those of you who have donated to our film project. I encourage people from my friends list and people in my social groups who want to be a part of our film project to please send me your email address to my Facebook inbox. We will hold a private conference through Google Meetings to discuss the best methods of reaching others via social media, people from their friends list, donors, and local businesses. GRCAM Chicago, the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, mission is to help eradicate urban violence in Chicago through our programs and services. Our objective is to build a bridge between the diaspora and continental Africans through art, culture, and commerce. GRCAM Chicago will be in the business of creating docudramas, short films, theater, photography, fine arts, music, poetry, literature, sculpture, dance, and spiritual development for inner city youth and their families. Once this virus is cleaned up, we plan on launching African tours in order for us to move from behind the computer and make real connections with our global Black family on the continent, starting in South Africa. I created GRCAM, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement, because I got tired of all of the division among Black people. I created GRCAM in 1991 on a site called Gopher. I wanted to create an organization that focused specifically on solving Black issues in America. I wanted to connect with other like-minded African Americans, Afro-Brazilians, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Europeans, African immigrants, and Afro-Latinos throughout the diaspora. This is a podcast where we talk about solving Black issues / African issues using a spiritual perspective as it pertains to the great awakening of our people that has been prophesied. Our objective is to get our film project fully funded and play it by ear during COVID-19. Once this virus is cleaned up, then we will shoot our film and promote our film in selected movie theaters and sell our DVDs. Together, we will put GRCAM on the map and turn my vision for Black America into reality. In 2021 and beyond, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement will be promoting a policy of global Black unity, ownership, and community support. Our objective is to be in a place where we own everything we consume and we support one another. We're reaching out to our group members and listeners and would like to encourage them to support our film project in 3 ways. Through our virtual store, GRCAM merchandise such as COVID masks, coffee mugs, posters, handbags, and t-shirts. All proceeds will go towards our film project. 2, through our nonprofit organization, GRCAI of Chicago. PayPal page. Donations can be used as a tax write-off because this is a legitimate 501c3. All donations are tax deductible to the fullest extent of the law. 3, you can support us by purchasing my revised book on my Amazon author page. Keep in mind, community support is where we have to go, and please understand, when you're supporting our YouTube channel or our podcast, you're supporting an independent black network which will eventually employ black people in our films, stage plays, and in our actual business. I need African entrepreneurs, especially in South Africa, to come on the show and promote your businesses and ministries to the diaspora and vice versa. Instructions on participating on the show. First, watch my video podcast. This is called Side A. After I finish my presentation, then I will open up the phone lines through Facebook Messenger. This is called Side B. You can interact with me in real time, either as a voice call by clicking on the phone icon, or a video call by clicking on the camera icon. With that being said, tonight's segment is entitled GRCAM Family Business. We are all in this together. We are going to touch on some heavy topics from the Derek Chauvin verdict and my message to African entrepreneurs. I understand many of you have lives outside of social media. I get that. I'm not on here seeking attention. I want to interact with everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social groups. On Facebook, I have 1,500 people on my friends list. At this point, it's just me and Sister Renee. We are looking for at least 3 grant writers within the United States that's on my friends list to assist us in getting and targeting grant money from donors, sponsors, and corporations to help fund our film project. If interested, please send me a message to my Facebook inbox. You do not necessarily have to live in Chicago to be part of our film project. I only want to discuss business with those of you who are serious. This is the best that I can do for now until God connect me with other like-minded black people who will work with me and Sister Renee in turning my story into a motion picture. I want to talk to my young black listeners between the ages of 18 to 35. Where are my black millennials or Generation Y and Generation Z? You are the ones I want to have in my urban film. But first, I'm trying to raise $500,000 so that I can be in a better position financially to hire qualified film crew such as sound technicians, graphic designers, assistant director, director of photography, camera assistants, hair and makeup artists, and production assistants, and of course, quality actors. Those of you who join my film project will go down in history with me and Sister Renee. If you are on my friends list or in my social groups and you have no idea about who I am, shame on you. Ever since January the 2nd, I have been hosting my video podcast every Thursday evening in hopes of connecting with other like-minded black people from around the globe in order to raise funds for my film project. I was unable to reach my generation, which is Generation X, due to the fact that this Willie Lynch mentality within the black society has caused real damage to our racial group. The black family as we know it is under attack, and a majority of black Americans or African Americans have become Americanized. Quote, I got mine, you get yours. I created the grassroots community activist movement for you and for the global black family. We will raise the bar in Black America, Africa, and the Caribbean, as well as in Brazil, wherever we make our presence known. The only thing which is preventing me from turning my virtual Christian socialist organization, GRCAM, into a real Christian business, GRCAI of Chicago, which is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, is the lack of manpower in the capital. This is why I turned to social media to get my message out to the public through my YouTube videos, my social groups, my blog postings, my online talk show, my revised book, and now through my future urban Christian film / docudrama, Hood Liberator Made in Chicago, The War Against Willie Lynch Begins. This is my last attempt to try to do something positive for my racial group in America. I don't have another 29 years to waste. Work with me while I am alive. Don't wait until I am dead. Embrace my ideas and work with me now. Before I cut and run to Africa, I want to create my Christian business on the west side of Chicago and also on the south side of Chicago. This would be my credibility so that when we expand our Christian business in Africa, I would not have to waste time explaining who I am, what I've done for my people who are trapped in American ghettos. My business will speak for itself. I want to get this film project fully funded and made so that I can reach the black masses or the global black family. It's my hope that the proceeds from my film will put me in a better position financially to purchase office equipment, hire qualified black middle class professionals, purchase property in Chicago and in Africa. This is not business as usual, this is personal. Family, we have to become problem solvers. We have to practice group economics. That's what we will teach our members at the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. As black people, we have tried to do everything to avoid our problems, such as drinking or drugging, instead of confronting our problems head on. Whatever problem you focus on, you will eventually come up with a solution to that problem. This is why I wrote my revised book, The Solution for Black America, 2nd edition. I used to ask the question, how come black celebrities won't do anything to help our inner cities? Because of the Oprahs and Michael Jordans receive their bread and butter from the financial elites, which means they are not going to do anything or create anything that will empower just black people, at least in America. The financial elites play paid coons and sellouts to undermine our interests. We're the only group whose members are incentivized to undermine everyone else. You can't build anything without resources. This is why I've been consistent encouraging our members to pool our resources together so that we can take our story to the big screen in order to reach the global black family beyond cyberspace. Once this film is fully funded and made, we will go down in history for starting out as an online group to become a real black Christian business. We will be funded and made by members of the Grassroots Community Activist Movement. GRCAM has been on Facebook for 17 years. We started off as Christian groups and secular groups. Now we are expanding our network to include creating independent black films and black media. We don't have large sponsors. We have to rely on people on my friends list and people in my social groups. I created GRCAM in such a time as this. So that we can rely information with with each other without having to depend on the dominant society. Our next film project will take place in South Africa. The name of the film is entitled African Liberator, The Battle Against Colonized Mindset. My assistant group leader, Evangelist Martha Mumba from South Africa, she assists me with my Facebook group called GRCAM of Africa. I will give her an opportunity to be a part of our second film once we are successful with the first film. This is why I need my GRCAM of Africa members to step up and encourage their family or friends from their country who reside in Canada, Europe, or in the United States to send me a friend request along with their email address so that I can email them everything I do online. It's not my burden alone, but rather a shared burden, for I am just one black man with a vision and a plan. It takes a team to make a dream work. This is why I keep bringing up Nehemiah. He did not build the wall of Jerusalem by himself. He had qualified architects, bricklayers, and engineers. On this show, I discuss social issues that are affecting Black America. If you are unable to participate on the show, then please, when you have a moment, listen to my video podcast, leave a public comment on my Facebook page, and share with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. Our first topic for this evening, the Derek Chauvin verdict. The Derek Chauvin verdict went in our favor, and that's a good thing, but we should not be celebrating. That's one case out of hundreds. Family, Derek Chauvin verdict had nothing to do with the Congressional Black Caucus, the Black Boule, Crump, or Black Lives Matter. This is the same con game they pulled in the 1960s. The reason why Derek Chauvin was convicted is because of the black grassroots, the black media, and the protesters out in these streets. I came across an article from the USA Today. It talked about how the Senate recently passed the Asian American hate crime bill, yet nothing for us. According to USA Today, COVID-19 hate crime bill to fight Asian American discrimination passed the Senate. The Senate passed overwhelmingly by bipartisans support a hate crime bill to address the drastic increase in violence and discrimination against Asian Americans during the COVID-19 pandemic. The article mentioned the COVID-19 Hate Crime Act cleared the chamber in a 94-1 vote Thursday. The article goes on to say it would expedite the Justice Department review of hate crimes and would designate an official at the department to oversee the effort. It also would task the department with coordinating with local law enforcement groups and community-based organizations to facilitate and raise awareness about the hate crimes reporting, including establishing an online hate crime reporting system in multiple languages. It's all kinds of other benefits. On top of that, the White House issued a document where it says additional things the Biden administration plans to do for the Asian community, and that includes nearly $50 million for domestic violence they experienced during the pandemic. We as black people have experienced the worst treatment than any other group in America. You can't get Democrats and Republicans to agree on anything specifically for black people, but overwhelmingly, 94-1, both Democrats and Republicans voted for COVID-19 hate crimes bill. There are different groups that are coming and to the country who are beneficial to the dominant society. For those of you who voted for Joe Biden, we told you don't vote for someone that refused to tell you if they are going to do something specifically for black people. Now you understand why. They require no study for this bill for Asian Americans. Not only are they getting to get specific protection, they're also getting a bag. The only way Congress could justify doing this was to create a false narrative that black people are attacking Asians. That's what gave Congress cover to do this. While black people were celebrating Derek Chauvin conviction, the Asian community was working behind the scenes. They got a bill passed into the most bipartisan Senate ever. The mainstream media had us focus on one case, which is important that we support the George Floyd family. The Asian community was working behind the scenes to get legislation and money for their people and their community. We better make these career politicians pay on the next election. Those of you who have a platform, I encourage you to ask Don Lemon, Joy Reid, Trevor Noah, and or any black person with a large following. Ask them how come they are not replaying the audio where Joe Biden was lashing out to the civil rights leaders when he said, quote, America is doomed not just because of black people, unquote. After black America had just delivered him the presidency, Biden used his position as a senator fighting against black people for over 40 years, and yet black people rewarded him by helping him win the 2020 election. If Trump had said the exact same thing, MSNBC and CNN would have been making all kinds of ratings. Let's face it, family. America is trying to replace us. They're doing this because we're no longer just going to be their political whores and give our votes to people who refuse to do anything for us. Our vote is for sale. We as black people are entitled to resources from the American government for 3 reasons. 1 is we pay taxes. 2, our ancestors built the United States of America. And 3, the Democrats owe black people for helping them win elections for over 30 years. According to CNN, Vice President Kamala Harris announced that the U.S. will be sending $310 million to Central America, yet another Pacific, but nothing Pacific for black people. I found another article from the New York Times entitled, quote, a COVID-19 relief fund was only for black residents. Then came the lawsuit, unquote. Basically, what the article was discussing was the Senate was the state of Oregon was going to give black business owners $60 million after the Senate of Oregon passed the measures to give black business owners money. 2 business owners, one white and the other Latino, decided to file a lawsuit claiming discrimination. Whenever black people try to get some benefits just for our group, it always have to include everyone else. Asian Americans can get $50 million for their group. No one is filing a lawsuit. Then $310 million for Central America. No one is filing a lawsuit. The black community needs to start filing lawsuits and discrimination by the Biden administration because it only offers protection for Asians under the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act. We have to constantly fight for resources as long as we remain in America. That's why I encourage my group members to apply for dual citizenship. Life is too short to be going through unnecessary drama. I have a video clip of Candace Owens. I really don't like playing her stuff. She is bought and paid for by the political right Republicans. They are crying foul, saying it was an unfair trial. Let's be clear. The judge over the case still has not sentenced him as of yet. Black people have a bad habit of going to celebration mode when there is way too much work to be done. The white supremacists look at this case as a loss. I have another video clip on my Medium page about a black teenage girl in Ohio who was shot and killed by a road cop. The mainstream media tried to justify the shooting by saying she had a knife. This girl was being threatened by a group of teens. She was trying to defend herself. Family, it's getting real dangerous out here in these streets. I want black people to understand we are under attack, not only with road cops, but also urban terrorists within the black community. For example, on the west side of Chicago, a seven-year-old black girl by the name of Jasmine and her father, Dante Adams, was shot in a McDonald's drive-thru as they were waiting for their order. An employee said they saw two men jump out of their vehicle and began shooting into the vehicle of Dante Adams. Jaslyn was shot 6 times. She was rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Her father was shot twice. He is in critical condition. This is so unfortunate. I get tired of talking about senseless violence. That is happening in the black community, but someone has to do this. The 2 suspects who committed this act are still at large. A community activist by the name of Andrew Holmes said the following, quote, "If you have any kids, have you ever taken your kids to McDonald's? You pump 6.5 bullets in that baby. That don't make you a man. That don't make you a gangster." He's absolutely, unquote, he's absolutely right. Something is wrong with this picture when you shoot into a McDonald's drive-thru where parents have their children. Some fool decided to ambush someone. Mayor Lori Lightfoot tweeted the following, quote, "I am heartbroken and angered that a 7-year-old child was killed this afternoon on Chicago's west side. This unthinkable act of violence has no place here. The epidemic of gun violence cutting our children's lives short cannot go on." While I agree with her, I want to know, does that include her officers who murdered a child? Adam Tolito, who was killed by Chicago police a few weeks ago. The police said he had a gun, but when we looked at the body camera, he had his hands up and there was no gun. We can't keep talking about our children being killed wholesale. Hopefully, those urban terrorists will be caught and brought to justice. What GRCAM is trying to teach our members to stay on code, stay together, and continue to push for true freedom, justice, and equality. When road cops pull up, pay attention to their badge numbers and, if possible, get their names so that y'all can give that information to us and we can do the research on these guys and their social media page. I want black people to understand we have to be the justice enforcers in this day and age, because the laws are not enforced to protect us. Lawmakers are throwing hate crimes at black people just for bumping into Asian family. That's something we have to start calling out. We need to be proactive and codified. All of these prosecutors who are not giving crime charges to road cops or white supremacists who harm us, but they're not giving hate crime charges to black people. Who does something to an Asian person? Start writing down their names. We need the names of these prosecutors on a national level. We are not men and women if we just sit around and allow road cops and urban terrorists to continue murdering our children at will. My next topic, my message to African entrepreneurs. The African diaspora is part of Africa. You are us and we are you. There is no separation between us. If our ancestors have not been forced into slavery, we would not have to return to our ancestral homeland. We would have already been there. 400 years of waiting for a welcome is far too long. Special shout out to Ghana for creating the Year of Return. The Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago want to make real connections with our continental brothers and sisters in my African group and on my friends list. Many of our brothers and sisters cannot make it to the motherland. This is why we want to create satellite communities within the inner cities so that we can be an advocate for our members starting in Chicago. We want to use our film project to help bring resources to the inner cities by connecting with local African entrepreneurs to do trade with Black Americans and vice versa. We also want to set up chapters in each African country that we will visit during our African tour. We want to work with African governments to help speed up citizenship process within 5 years or less in exchange for our talents and skills. We also want equal rights just like other African citizens. We want to invest in African countries on an equal basis and equal footing. Our investments would help improve the African economy. We want to have proper business development in order to address agricultural technology, create alternative energy such as wind and solar, solve rolling blackouts and water filtration in West Africa. We want to learn the African languages and culture of each country we make our presence known in. We would like to recommend a public holiday to commemorate our ancestors' journey. We want to be included in the African Constitution. Citizenship is not just about having a passport, it's about financial security. This is why it's important to support Black media, because we can network and share relevant information with our people from around the globe. With that being said, I'm now ready to open up the phone lines for Q&A based on the topics that I discussed this evening. Please be on point. Thank you.